And here we go, part 2. Thank you, Norma. Oh, welcome, Norma. Looked at Twit. But how did you get stuck in my burrow? Twit blushed. My brothers keep playing tricks on me, and I keep believing them because I'm such a twit. Norma smiled. Well, everyone's a bit of a twit from time to time, but picking on people is a very twittish thing to do. You shouldn't let your brothers get away with it. But what can I do? Asked Twit. Stick up for yourself, said Norma. And then something strange happened. For the first time ever, Twit had an idea of his own. Twit whispered to Norma, and Norma smiled. What a good idea! And of course it was. Twit flapped outside and found the oldest, stickiest cobwebs, and then Norma helped him collect some squelchy mud from the stream. The two new friends mixed the mud and webs together and stuck the sludgy mess to the tree. Then Twit flew up and sank his bottom into the gloopy goo, and it stuck him there like glue. Norma gave Twit a big thumbs up, and Twit smiled. Look at me, Twit hooted, stretching out his wings. Bump, boggle, baffle, I'm floating. Well, Twit's brothers gasped. It looked as if Twit was floating in the air. Norma rushed about the forest, waking up all the animals. Come and see the floating owl. He's lighter than air. Very soon there was a large crowd staring at Twit. Little owls can't really float, but Bump and Boggle and Baffle believed that Twit had learned how to, and they were very cross. Look at him, cried Baffle. Bump stamped his foot. Come on, boys, if Twit the Twit can learn to float, then so can we. At once the three big birds flapped about, but they could not float, no matter how they tried. They flew this way and that way and upside down and bump into the tree and bump on the grass. And the more they couldn't float, the crosser they got, and the crosser they got, the sillier they looked. All the animals began to laugh. Ha 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 ha! It's not fair, screeched Boggle. How can Twit float when we can't? How? Norma grinned. Perhaps he's not as big as Twit as you say he is. Twit's brothers went on, jumping and flapping and puffing and panting. They didn't even notice when Twit pulled his tail feathers free of the cobweb and muddy glue. All the other animals gasped, and then they started to clap. What a joke, said a stoat. Oh, what a trick, squealed the squirrel. Look at his silly brothers trying to float for real, laughed the bear. What vain little twits. Yes, they are twits, the other animals agreed. Still laughing, they went home, leaving Boggle, Bump and Baffle red-faced and feeling very, very silly. Twit turned to Norma. Thank you for telling me to stick up for myself. I told you to stick up for yourself, Twit. But today you've done both, and now every animal in the woods knows you're not such a twit after all. Twit glowed with pride. Thank you for your help, Norma. What should we do now? And Norma smiled shyly. Why don't we catch lots and lots of bugs for our supper? Oh, that is a good idea, said Twit. And it was. It really, really was. The end. Well, there you go, Year 3. That was the story all about Twit, the poor little owl who
who was a bit picked on by his brothers. Now, we know you wouldn't be like that with your brothers and sisters, would you? I'm sure you're all very kind to each other. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this week's story, and we'll be back again next week to share another story with you. But for now, it's bye from me and bye from Rusty.